Hi all, welcome to the Storyline Juan Agudelo player review. This is the final player that you can unlock from level 15, folks. Thanks to George for this. His link is down in below for his Twitter and Mixer. He likes to stream on Mixer when he can, so go and show him some love. So if you can smash links, be awesome. Sub to the channel if you're new. Follow me on Twitter, G is a legend. All links are down below for posts on the channel and social media links as always. And the Hagi and Elyounoussi reviews are in the description as well. Welcome to smash the notification bell would be massively appreciated. So Agudelo goes into this team of 4-3-3. He gets subbed on. We take off Bergwijn or Sissoko usually, and we just go in from there. What we do is we change to a 4-4-2 in game with Aguero going left mid, Bernardo Silva right mid, and then Agudelo and Ben Yedder leading the line. So Agudelo has been given a plus 18 boost on his overall, with plus 17 pace, plus 21 shot, plus 19 passing, plus 18 dribbling, plus 14 defending, and plus 17 physical to give him 93 pace, 86 shot, 80 pass, 88 dribbling, 53 defending, and 86 physical. Now I've only played 3 games with him so far. I've since played a couple more, but we have got enough that we're happy with him, and we'll go obviously from there. So we've got 3 goals, and I'll actually be honest, I thought I'd got a bit more of a return. I thought, like, technically there's 1 assist, and I could have had maybe 4 or 5 goals, but not to be. He's got 4-star skill moves, 5-star weak foot, 6-1 in high work rates, and he obviously plays for Inter Miami in the MLS. So kind of like your alternatives, we went with Ibra. Scream Ibra seemed the most logical. So he's got 90 acceleration, 94 sprint speed, 89 attack positioning, 83 finishing, 96 shot power, 79 long shots, 86 fouls, 84 penalties. Finishing and long shots are a big concern for him as a forward, especially when you have 96 shot power. 85 vision, 89 short pass, 82 curve, you've got 69 crossing, 66 free kicks, and 70 long pass as well. 98 agility, 62 balance, that is the major negative here. 81 reactions, 88 ball control, 90 dribbling, 86 composure, 89 head accuracy, 95 jumping, 82 stamina, 85 strength, and 90 aggression. Now, depending how obviously you set your team up, I would imagine if you go like a 4-2-3-1 for example, and you played him as the lone striker, you're going to need 3 icons most likely to kind of link him up. Or you could play him, some people have even pondered, go to CDM, link him up to a para, and go from there and change him in game to a striker. But negative right away for him is 62 balance, 83 finishing, 79 long shots, and I would even say 82 stamina. Like, I feel his stamina just needs a little bit more work, but the agility is a good positive. Now in-game wise, for what I played with him, initially the very first game he was struggling. The first half I couldn't really get much out of him, I was struggling, and then I changed things up tactics wise in game with Agudelo. I kind of tweaked it up a little bit. I thought I subbed on Pereira, and suddenly everything clicked with Agudelo. He kind of ran riot in like a 5-minute spell, just made the difference, and like he just suddenly showed his worth. Now when I kind of went over, I've played 5 games in the end. Would I say, like, while I've played 15 games with Hagi and Elyounoussi respectively, would I say for what I've played of them, is it been a fair return to get an understanding? I would say yes. I feel 5 games has given me enough of an understanding, and I will be brutally honest, he is the it's going to be harsh on a few people, but he's probably the weakest option of the 3, for the simple reason that there is like much better strikers out there, but also his balance and kind of his main key attributes for his attacking elements are pretty dire. Like, yes, he's got 96 shot power, but if you like, for me, I like to try and finesse sometimes with a striker, or like to try and hit the ball from like 25 yards out. Doesn't always happen, and sadly he does not give you that kind of benefit, as it were, and that's kind of where I do get a little bit concerned about. Like, you want a good striker, and like footage wise we did kind of not get as much as we would like, because mainly we missed a few like sitters, and like namely the one that was in the last clip. I was like, that just made me laugh. But fundamentally, and this is why I'm going to add extra to this as well, I'm going to review Agudelo, but I'll also recap Elyounoussi and Hagi as well. So for me, he's like an 8.5 for worth it. Like if you're closing in on level 15 by now, most people realistically, I would imagine will, because they won't have been like grinding it the way I did at the weekend there. And that's how obviously I had Hagi in by Sunday, and obviously Elyounoussi was Monday and Agudelo was today. But when you fundamentally break them all down, Agudelo, he's got good pace, he's quite handy on the ball in certain parts, but unless you are a skiller, then I wouldn't touch this card. If you can't skill, just don't touch this card. That's kind of like, I can't skill to save my life. But what I noticed when I was using Elyounoussi and Hagi, when I needed to slow the ball down to then attack, I could do it with Elyounoussi and Hagi quite freely. I was able to be like, right, I can compose myself for a second. I wasn't getting that kind of freedom and time to do that with Agudelo. That's what the biggest difference I was noticing out of the three, and that sometimes is what makes the difference. Is when, if you get a chance to use all three, you say to yourself, yes, they may all be fodder, but you say to yourself, oh, let's have a look, see what makes this card work more for my team rather than something else. Like if you're trying to build like the best possible MLS team, then obviously you're going to take them. But if you're trying to have a bit of fun with, say, the SPFL with Elyounoussi or Hagi, then they're more likely to get in. But also if you're trying to get the best player out of the three, just for say like a super sub, then you're going to take Elyounoussi or Hagi. Now as well, when you try and compare the three teams that we're using, every team is different. So each team's been different, but each team has kind of implemented different tactics. This one, like the George's team, which has been neat to use, was obviously like starts as a 4-3-3, goes to 4-4-2. Mark's team that gave me Elyounoussi was a it starts as a 4-5-1, but it went to a 4-2-3-1. And as we were saying with Elyounoussi, his positioning was his biggest issue. If you get him as a central, if you start him as a left mid, if you've got him linked up with two icons like this kind of team, you could easily drop him in at, say, move him in game to a central cam position, and you'll have a lot more fun, a lot more freedom. And I feel that's where he would suit best. You can kind of then get him going forward, get him behind, get it like how you want like your cams to play, so it's like an extra attacking option if you play 4-2-3-1. But Elyounoussi, lots of good positives. As I said, it's just positioning was his biggest weakness, but you're able to, the ball stuck to him like glue, you're able to compose yourself nicely. His finishing was on point, and I had a lot of fun with the card. Elyounoussi still just marginally, out of the three, is the best of the three of them, sadly. If you want, and kind of like, I know a lot of people were going to ask, oh gee, who's like the bit, like that's why you've took Hagi, oh he must be the best. I'm like, Hagi was only just because it was trying to be quick for like we could have thought he'd necessarily link up to Ken, obviously, so I thought people would want that review. And then obviously in relation to my team, we started him off the bench, subbed in at central cam, central centre mid, and then played him at central cam. Worked a treat, had a lot of fun, and he produced a lot of goals and got a few assists into the bargain. And the ball sticks to him like glue as well, and his positioning was a big positive. And yes, people will be like, oh, he's only got his 5-star, 3-star, but he works so well, and like I can't skill, but his weak foot is such so clinical that it was making such a difference. And like, if you could pick two of the cards, I would say Elyounoussi and Hagi all day long, in all honesty, and you'd end up having a lot of fun. And like, his work rates are pretty much spot on, I feel, for him, and there's not really many negatives fundamentally in the card that I felt. Even like his stat, he can run all day, and yet people will pick negatives maybe about the balance or the reactions or his composure, but nothing was really at fault. even like his strength is pretty sound. But let me know, folks, in the comments down below, who did you go for level 15 if you're at that stage yet? And as I said, let me know your feedback of all 3 players. Let me know which reviews you found useful. So smash the like to always, sub to the channel if you're new, and I'll catch you all later.